A warehouse complex housing military supplies has been captured by the insurgents. Another chance to prove ourselves to our new hosts. A ground assault team, callsign Molotov, will attack the complex from the south. Multiple armored vehicles and weapon emplacements are sighted in the AO. You are to provide close air support to allow Molotov to retake this area. Welcome back aboard my Su-25, and welcome to the second mission of the Emirati Rebellion campaign. The mission for today is to cover a ground assault on an insurgent-held warehouse complex. We're going to get into the air as soon as possible because the ground force is already on its way, and we need to make sure we soften up the target well before we get there. So, rolling, airspeed's alive. And rotate initially to 10 degrees. Gear up. Wait for a little extra speed before we bring the flaps up, about 400 and 200 meters. I've actually been reading up a little bit on the real-world circuit procedures and things like that for the Su-25, and 2 has overshot out in front of me in a slightly spectacular fashion. Anyway, landing lights off, and nav lights off. Waypoint 1 is already called up, so I'll start my turn as we head out over the sea. Yeah, like I said, I've been studying a few of the real-world procedures for the Su-25 where I've been able to find them, and I did find a relatively good description of the circuit procedure in a Su-25 SM training manual that I managed to come across. So, vaguely interesting. In any case, I should actually read this report. So, time on target 12 minutes for the ground units, multiple armored vehicles, at least 2 mobile AAA units, and 3 AAA emplacements. So, the long and short of that is don't get too close to the target, I think. That being said, in order to deal with the target, we did have some imagery in the briefing. We can very briefly pull up here, where we have 2 known AAA positions outside the compound, and then various stuff in and amongst it. And so the weapons I brought along this time are 2 pods of S8 rockets, and 2 Fab 500 high explosive bombs. I'm going to drop those bombs on those 2 known AAA positions outside the compound, and then go after anything else with rockets within the compound, since they should be a little bit more precise. So that's pretty much the plan. Hopefully it's enough firepower to deal with the target, especially since we have a wingman with the same loadout who should catch up with us relatively soon. I'm climbing at full power, so he might be struggling a little bit, but as soon as we're level, it should be fine. I'll level off at 4,000 meters, and I'm doing sort of a cruise climb because, like the message there said, 12 minutes, not a lot of time, so got to get to that target and hit it as soon as possible, so we'll make our way over there. Welcome back. We are 15 clicks back from the objective. That's it down there. It's already on fire. The sun is still in the east, so I kind of want to attack from that direction. I'm going to call up my bombs first. We'll make this a dive bombing attack rather than dropping from level in the name of precision mostly, and also the fact that there's a cloud in the way right now, so I couldn't really line up a level drop even if I wanted to. I might actually order 2 in to attack immediately just because I'm feeling the shortness of time a little bit. Can I see the ground force down there? Not immediately, but they should be closing in. Call sign Molotov, it said in the briefing, which means hammer. Anyway, flight, engage, ground targets. Please be careful. Unable. Well, maybe he hasn't spotted them yet. Okay, in that case, cover me.
Прикрой меня.
Второй. Принял.
Rolling in. These are on. And drop as soon as the sight comes on. Flares. Bomb away. At least I think it is. Yep. And I heard a radar ping there.
Получение земли. 10 часов. Второй. Работаю по объектам ПВО.
Bombs on target. 2 is engaging air defenses. That's fine by me.
Второй. Принял. Облучение земли. 10 часов. Второй. Работаю по объектам ПВО.
I'm going to climb back up to set up for another run. Do I see the ground force coming up the road? Not yet, so hopefully we have a little bit of time.
Второй. Занимаю строй.
Rejoin. No, don't do that. Engage. On targets, please, now that you've obviously seen them.
Второй. Принял.
Okay, this time he can do it, so that's all good.
Работаю по объектам ПВО.
I didn't see any SAMs shot at us that time, but we know there's AAA down there, so that's a definite threat. I think I will attack this other AAA position from the south so as not to directly overfly the compound. That seems wise. Even though we won't have the sun behind us, strictly speaking. Right. Time to roll in. Okay, speed breakout, flares, laser on. Airplane's pulling to one side because we have the one bomb on board, so we'll get rid of that. Bomb away. Power. Flares. Look over, see if anything's shooting at us.
Второй. Занимаю строй.
Not obviously. 2.
Занимаю строй.
Have you really not seen anything? Let's try this again.
Звену. Атакуй цели по возможности.
Okay, I see a vehicle parked
Второй. Не подтверждаю.
on a piece of concrete down there. I think that's... Oh, and I see 2 trucks. And maybe a sort of Toyota Hilux with a heavy machine gun. Okay. 2. Cover me. I'm gonna hit
Прикрой меня.
all of those things.
Второй. Понял.
Maybe not in one pass, but I'll hit the concentration
Второй.
that's
Обнаружена
on that
цель.
south side.
Бронетехника.
On the
3
target.
часа. Удаление.
How about you
5.
engage it then? Okay. Cluster vehicles, we'll shoot that first.
Второй. Обнаружена цель. Бронетехника. 3 часа. Удаление. 5.
Flares going out, looking carefully. Definitely hit those vehicles. There's still that one. Oh, and I see two more actually parked there. Those actually look more like armored vehicles to me, so I'll prioritize those next. See one more time if I can get two to engage.
Атакуй цели по возможности.
Второй, понял.
Okay.
Второй, работаю по земле.
Now he seems to be going for it.
Второй, обнаружена цель.
I can see the ground force. They're just pulling off the road there now. As soon as they crest that hill, they'll probably be able to see the enemy.
Удаление 3.
So we'll try and make sure our various targets are dealt with before then. I might have to not bother climbing all the way back up to altitude and
Работаю
make
по
some
объектам ПВО.
closer in runs to make sure that happens. We'll see. Yeah, I see my targets. Rolling in. Trim a little bit even, why not? Good hits on those two suspected armored vehicles. There's still that other one sitting right there, though.
Второй, на боевом.
Two's running in on something. Oh, I see a vehicle right in the corner of the compound. Our ground force is going to be exposed to that, so we'll hit that first.
Второй,
Unless it's what two's hitting right now. Actually see what he goes after. Yeah, I'm gonna roll straight in on that vehicle in the corner, since that's the most immediate threat to the ground force. Two's bombs still haven't landed. Oh, nope, two just bombed the thing I was after, and it's burning.
по земле.
Anyway, I see another vehicle in the opposite corner. Well, not the opposite, but the next one over. You get what I mean. Out of rockets! Okay, should have brought two rocket pods this time. Two was too many last time, but it was clearly what we needed this time.
Второй,
Ground units inside of the target zone, keep them covered. Did I actually hit that vehicle? Maybe, but there's another one. That looks like a BMP. That needs dealing with. Alright, cannons armed. I'm gonna have to take a little bit of a risk here, because BMP is a serious threat with its ATGM. Burning. What else is down there?
второй,
I see another BMP. Hopefully two's running in on it. If not, I'm gonna hit it with the cannon. Something just fired on the ground force, I think. Or no, that was just a vehicle exploding. Or was it? I don't know.
второй, отработал на
Okay, two shooting rockets. That's fine.
Второй, цель уничтожена.
He hit something other than what I'm rolling in on, so that's okay as well. Guns, guns, guns! I missed. That's a... This looks like a BMD to me. Where'd they get that? Ground force is moving in. I think from the picture in the briefing, it was 2 T-80s and 2 BMP-3s. And they're shooting at something. Well, off the rudder. Missed wide again, I think. I damaged it, it's smoking. Okay, one more run if the ground guys don't get it. There we go. I think they just popped it. And given how close I've gotten to the enemy and only taken a bit of machine gun fire, that probably is a decent indicator of what the actual threat situation is. So I will circle the objective low. I think I'll do sort of one orbit at low altitude to see if I can spot anything else. There's a thing that looks like it might be a bunker, but it might also just be a shed. So I'm not super worried about that, I guess. And there's the ground force moving in. Yeah, the remaining vehicles look pretty civilian-y. I'll actually stop the flares because I need to have at least a few left if I have to react to a sudden threat. Yeah, that looks pretty clear to me. Alright, in that case, I think I will head back up to higher altitude just to be away from any threats. 2 is joined up, so that's okay. Climb back up to 3,500 meters and continue to circle the objective until the ground force secures it, and obviously roll in on any pop-up threats that may present themselves to said ground force. Not sure what that burning thing over there is. No, I've lost sight of them. Whatever. Ground units approaching the target zone. We can just about spot them down there. Moving in on the objective, so I will be ready if anything pops up. I'll even drop down a little bit because we're right up at 4,000 again. In they go. Slightly hard to pick them out from the trees and things, but they are there. Ground units have taken back the depot. Mission success. Okay, so the objective is secure. In that case, we will punch up home base and head on back there. 2's already joined up with me, so I don't really need to give him the word of command or anything, so we can just return to Fujairah. I'll climb back up to 4,000 on the way because we're going to be passing over the mountains on the way there. So just level off at that altitude and we shall head back to base. Welcome back. We are just about overhead Fujairah, And same as last time, I'm going to be doing that power off sort of spiral down into the circuit from high altitude in order to minimize the risk from any handheld SAMs that might be fired from the vicinity of the field. So I'll drop down to an initial altitude of 3,500 meters. And once we reach that and are just about overhead the field, I'll slow down and dirty up the aircraft, and down we'll go. So level off at 3.5 for now. And pretty much overhead the field now, so I'll pull the power off. Speed brakes out. Gear down. Laps down, and 2 can
Звено,
return to
возврат
base.
на
Just
базу.
do your own thing, because I don't think he's going to be able to follow this.
Второй. Возврат на точку.
We will drop out of the sky like a proverbial ton of bricks once again. Feels like we're higher than we were last time, but we're not. So make of that what you will. Just keeping eyes on the button of the runway there. I imagine that one would conceivably be dispensing flares on such an approach as this as well, but being as I don't have very many left, I think maybe I won't do that. And once again, more as sort of a creative exercise than anything, I'm going to try and manage the energy such that we fly all the way down to the threshold at idle power, just like the exercise I described in the previous video, the power off 180. I think we might be a little bit closer to getting it right this time. When I've done that power off 180 exercise in the real world, the main thing that you can do is the things you do to control your energy are the geometry of your turn, which is usually going to be basically a rounded base, will put you about where you want to be, and also in the case of the Cessna 172, it's when you extend the flaps. In the Su-25, it's going to be more like when I retract the speed brakes. Okay, if anything, I think we actually have a little bit of excess energy this time. So I'm actually going to do a little bit of a forward slip, I think, to get rid of a bit of that. Should be able to touch down more or less on the 1,000-foot markers. We might have a little bit of excess speed coming down onto the runway, but the runway's nice and long, so not too worried about that. We might just make it a bit of a 3-point touchdown. There we go. Speed brakes are already out. Parachute's out. I think probably you shouldn't actually touch down with the speed brakes deployed. I haven't actually found anything to that effect one way or the other in the manual, but it seems like the sort of thing you wouldn't do. Anyway, I'll vacate and shut down as per last time, just for the sake of completeness. Have we got the full points for the mission yet? No! Hopefully that's not a bug. We'll see about that. Lights can stay on for now, actually. Technically, I should have probably put the nav lights on, but in a wartime environment, it's probably more or less fit to fly without lights. And once again, I'll just park up opposite the other Su-24s that are on the field here. Okay, now we can do the lights to the taxi setting. Why not? We can't see them anyway because it's daytime, but okie dokie, that's us. So, engines off, electrics off, canopy open, feel the probably actually stifling heat of the UAE springtime. And that's probably going to be about it for this mission. A little bit more excitement in this one because I kind of ran out of fireworks and had to do some gun runs. So there's that. We kind of got right in the enemy's face. But in any case, hopefully that was interesting enough. I'll be back with the next mission reasonably soon. Toodles.